Game number 2 coming at you live right here. Flashpoint will be taking on Elevate one more time, possibly a second time after this if Elevate are able to answer back. We'll see how that one works out. Elevate on the left side this time with the first pick and the first ban.
Can expect to see this one immediately. The Giannis, he's been the talk of Season 5 as of late, and for good reason. Too much mobility, I think, to try and really match it. That was one of the main issues, I should say, that Elevate ran into time and time again. They would look for Panda mid, could not confirm it. Maybe forcing Panda mid into a guy that can't escape as easily could give Commando Snipes a little bit more of an advantage there in the mid lane in terms of actually being able to confirm kills.
Guan, Robin, and Odin panned out here. I think the Guan man very important.
I know you can do better.
Keeping Delnyy off of that. I didn't know what that was, that voice.
The Achilles.
I had no idea what that was.
He does it every time. It says something different a couple of times, though.
We rarely get to see the god, though. Usually just banned out. So the Achilles coming through with that one kind of nice look. He'll be the first pick for Elevate. DoctorL across the way will be Flashpoint's jungler of choice alongside Xbalanque, who's going to summon the Apocalypse. He's very excited.
It's only a matter of time, I think, before that Xbalanque gets snagged up. He's always such a contested pick in the console scene, and I think the Darkest Night will it's hard to go wrong with that ult.
Elevate gonna go with the Zeus one more time. We'll see if this time it's able to be piloted a little bit better. Alongside the Athena, though, should have some additional help. I think the idea of the Kuzenbo was to push players into that rainstorm, but didn't always work out in that way. Athena's gonna taunt players in that wave storm, but now Flashpoint are playing the Kuzenbo, so people seem to like the turtle.
I think they just want to make sure IAmTheHamster doesn't try to run it back. Elevate did have the double Guardian composition in the previous round, so the possibilities of it being an Athena solo, Kuzenbo support, yet again, wouldn't put it past Elevate to go for it.
Certainly something to think about. FP do need a mid laner, so that's going to leave Agni going to be banned out. Hunter and a jungler for Flashpoint as well. No Hachiman, no Ratatasker. I like the Ratatasker ban specifically. And then the Ra, another mid lane choice for Flashpoint, going to be banned out.
I think that the Ra is going to prevent the issues of the sustain becoming too overwhelming, so that's a smart choice there for Elevate, especially since Flashpoint went for the Sylvanas yet again. Koiz did have a pretty solid performance on it, although I do feel as though Elevate kind of baited themselves a few times there, trying to capitalize on that Sylvanas immobility, and ended up actually putting themselves too deep out of position, trying to get the confirmation.
Well, Thor and Ra will be the selection for ELV. Flashpoint across the way, going to go for Discordia in the mid lane. So Elevate repeat their composition. Thor, Zeus, a little bit of displacement in the Guardian position. Should be interesting. Elevate one more time, get a chance to try the same thing against Flashpoint. Let's get into game number 2 and see if this one's going to be good enough. Taco, do you think this composition is good enough to try?
It's a million times better before you can even finish. Elevate's comp is just so much better because of the fact that they've got the Athena, they have the Rum. Last time, we saw Elevate having issues confirming kills. This time, Elevate have the gods necessary to confirm those kills.
See, for me, I think a lot of people are going to look at the Athena instead of the Kuzenbo. That's all well and good, and sure. I'm more looking at Nexamiss on the Achilles. I think this character is much better than the Geb in the hands of Nexamiss. I think it's more along the lines of what Nexamiss wants to do on a regular basis, and I think it's a little bit more pressure to be able to, like you said, finish off those kills.
It's never going to be an easy task. I mean, whenever you're trying to full commit onto any pick, there's always the risk being posed of putting yourself out of position, and as long as Elevate are able to be very clean with establishing that pick from the get-go, then they'll be just fine.
Minions have spawned here as our players line up, and this time we got everything in. We got all our ducks in a row. Delnyy will be playing that Kuzenbo in the solo lane, so the double Guardian coming out here for Flashpoint. Curious to see how this one works out.
Everybody's just waiting for the creeps to arrive, it seems, is Delnyy and Nexamiss. And I also just love the fact that it's going to be Nexamiss on the Achilles as opposed to the Geb. I just don't think that that God pick really did him much justice, and now that he has such an aggressive warrior, he'll be able to do more with it.
Agreed. Yeah, I certainly think that's the right direction for him to be in. Interesting start from Commando Snipes. I think last time, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think last time we saw him start with the Mage's Blessing. This time he's just going to go right for the Warlock Staff. I could have sworn there was a Mage's Blessing before the Warlock Staff last time around, even though he did go that choice. He went Warlock Staff Boots in the Divine Ruin because of the healing. But, you know what, chat? Let me know. Let me know in chat, did he have a Mage's Blessing last time around? Because I think it's interesting that he doesn't this game. Checo going to be poked out a little bit by Zachsy, so will his Hunter.
Well, they're both already level 2 because they just have better clear. It's not every day you get to say that because Sylvanas with any Hunter normally is going to have a favorable lane. But this time around, Zachsy really putting those Astral Arrows to work. Matt Koiz is going to get taunted back in here. Zachsy won't be able to confirm the autos afterwards. And as a result, Koiz will still stay alive for just a moment longer.
Delnyy there getting stunned. Nexamiss should have more control over that lane for sure, especially after the brief look that we've gotten here for the first couple of minutes. DoctorL and Commando Snipes, I like this run back because, like I said, the composition was sound. It was just the execution. If I'm watching them and I'm sitting here saying, you know what? I want another go. I want another shot at it.
Well, Nexamiss still trying to keep Delnyy confined underneath his T1 tower, and outside of that, been a relatively slow game all in all. There's enough pressure spread evenly across the board that I think Elevate kind of recognized they can't go all in on one lane without suffering consequences on another.
Well, shout out to chat. Mixer chat letting us know that Mage's Blessing wasn't there last time around, so just trying to rush that Warlock Staff. If you start level 1 of the Warlock Staff, it's going to cost you about 2,000 gold to really build into it. Whereas if you start level 2, you're only looking at a 1,300 gold jump. So certainly going to catapult him into those stacks a little bit early, giving up that 10% CDR that you get from the Blessing after it's already built out. Not too big of a deal.
He just felt like he needed to rush it this time, I think, because you don't really want to provide much time for Panda mid to get his farm online. Discordia doesn't have a power spike as early as a Zeus can possibly hit it.
Yeah.
So typically better to just put yourself ahead wherever you can.
Yeah, just trying to find every little bit there. So they'll be picking up the red buff nice and easy.
Commando Snipes now, just headed back into the mid lane.
Zzz.
I'll be honest, these guys are really just taking their time with things, and for good reason, because if Elevate drop this game, then Flashpoint is going to end up ahead, and for a team that was the first seed heading into the most recent LAN, Elevate, quite honestly, weren't able to pull the results that they were looking for. And I don't think that it was an issue of being unprepared by any means, so much as it was just a lot of stiff competition.
Yeah, ton of competition across the board. Very first time that we get to see Europeans kind of take home the victory as well. A lot of fun. Team Rival crushing it in Smite, regardless of what Smite you're talking about. Rival, actually, the organization, takes home both the PC Spring Split and the console Spring Split. If we allowed them to have a minor league team, I bet you they would have been behind
the third rival
Anxiety
team.
Onset as well, but not the case there. Big changes in the minor league as well. Anxiety Onset losing their star support player, right? A lot of eyes on Pain to Beyond, not going to be there any longer.
Nor will Paul.
He got called up to the majors. A lot of eyes going to be here in the middle lane as Double Taunt comes out from Team Elevate. That Koiz in trouble. Hammer is good, but not enough to finish. The turnaround is Jumpahhh gets DoctorL and Commando Snipes his beads. So it's one kill, but not in Elevate's favor the way they planned. It's all Flashpoint.
Can't believe Matt Koiz actually manages to survive there, and that's without having used Sylvanas' ultimate. Can you imagine if he'd actually knocked everybody up into place too?
Yeah, very odd to find so much damage being taken by DoctorL. Going to be the first blood. Very interesting. Nice play from Jumpahhh to identify how low the opposition was. Nice job. Flashpoint off to another big lead. Well, a very small lead, but the first one in the game.
And another positive factor for Flashpoint is that Delnyy is confirming his blue buff by himself. Doesn't need Jumpahhh rotating over so much as he just needs to be able to confirm these buffs on his own accord.
Yep, that's one of the bigger changes between the Warrior and the Guardian, or specifically these choices. From the back, Koiz is going to get dashed on. Zachsy rolls to safety.
Never really safe against the Xbalanque. Those branching bolas can still bleed into you through the wave. As Jumpahhh playing super aggressive now against DoctorL. Finds the kill off of that Trickster's Spirit, and DoctorL, much to his dismay, going to be sitting at 0-2-0 here, still committing to that Transcendence build.
Great play coming out from Jumpahhh, and I think this is Jumpahhh reacting to the Transcendence build from game number 1. It would have been nice to see him sort of counterplay the build right away, but I think after the fact he saw Nexamiss going to take a bunch of poke here. The push is good too, Taco, and Delnyy with the solo kill on the King of the Kappas.
He's the world champ, solo laner for a reason. But things are heating up in the other lanes too. IAmTheHamster going to get the credit on, or excuse me, he does get a kill onto Koiz, but he ends up falling in the process.
He gets the death credit.
Yeah. Kind of threw me for a loop there because you see his name pop up and then it pops up again because he's dead.
Yep. 1-1 for IAmTheHamster. Gets the kill, also the death, but Michael Checo looking clean there. Flashpoint earning some kills even outside of Jumpahhh. But I think Jumpahhh is sitting here punishing this Transcendence build specifically. Game number 1, Thor got away with it because nobody stepped on him, right? I mean, in this period of time where you don't have full Transcendence, you're not doing as much damage as Jumpahhh is. Even with Jumpahhh level 2 on Mace, Jumpahh's probably doing more than just the Transcendence, so you can exploit this period of time.
And that's exactly what he's been accomplishing. Pretty safely too, because it's not like he's cutting it close with a lot of these picks. He's putting, or excuse me, he's forcing DoctorL into out of position moments in which DoctorL's only real choices are to maybe look to fight him back, and that's just not a possibility right now for the Thor against the Dajie.
Not going to be the case whatsoever. Later on, sure, maybe. But this is why we're talking about Transcendence third item, because you're able to sort of bolster that, and second item, you still want to fight. Jumpahhh here taking advantage of his opposition. Like that thought process. Level 8 are both junglers. Delnyy with a little bit of a lead above his direct opponent, but that's really the only change here in experience. Big taunt coming out from Hamster.
Not going to be able to connect though onto Panda mid. Despite wanting it, that escape just a little bit too quick on the trigger finger. Delnyy now, that one solo kill has led to a 2-level lead over Nexamiss.
Yep. I mean, this is, Kuzmo has wrestled control of this lane, and he'll likely have it for a while now, until Nexamiss is able to just jump into him aggressively, starting with the level 1, or starting with the boots, rather, and the level 1, looking for the magical defense.
Jumpahhh now, trying to find more into DoctorL yet again, just pressuring this Thor as much as possible, even forcing that Defender of Olympus to come charging through from IAmTheHamster.
Didn't really even need it there, just a little bit safe, not sorry. So I don't mind the choice there from Hamster. Helping out his jungler, nice look there.
Flashpoint have an opportunity here now, though, to make a power play off of this. That Defender of Olympus is a huge ultimate to be missing out on, and with DoctorL still yet to back even, Flashpoint could possibly try to strong-arm Commando Snipes into losing his own purification beats.
Certainly something that they're going to be looking at. Nice ultimate again from Delnyy. This time less about the kill, more about the escape. He'll head back to base after that one.
Jumpahhh. He has a ward on DoctorL, so he knows that he's right on the solo side. Was thinking about invading those back harpies, but chooses to go to his own instead, just playing it safe.
No real reason to poke the bear here. Just go for what's safe, as you said. About 1,000 gold, maybe give or take up. 1,500. Panda mid gets poked big time by DoctorL, but poked and that's it. No follow-up. Elevate still up, as I mentioned, about 1,500 gold. Certainly something worth talking about.
I think the problem here is Jumpahhh knows that Flashpoint, or between himself and Panda mid, they probably don't have enough damage to confirm a kill onto IAmTheHamster.
Yeah, not yet.
He doesn't have the CC immunity from the Defender of Olympus, so that would have been the time period to try and find a pick onto this Athena. I just think that it's the low confidence on whether or not they can actually confirm it, that they don't want to expend so many abilities to wind up short. Not
a bad call. This time around, DoctorL coming in right into the lane, nice and easy. Does have a little bit of help from the Athena, who rolls forward. And the last hit gonna go to the jungler. And Michael Checo falls down. Meanwhile, one more time, Thor in the air, but he'll miss. Give Dodgy the opportunity to do a little bit of whatever she wants. Bees are good.
He's still looking for it. Jumpahhh is so concerned about being able to find that last hit onto Zachsy that he's going to end up dying himself. Luckily enough, though, Panda mid comes through clutch, finds the 2-kill response, but Jumpahhh is still tunneling so hard onto Zachsy.
Yeah, Jumpahhh gets the kill. Or Jumpahhh doesn't wind up with the kill, but 2 players do die. Ultimately, the 1 for 2 there. Still in Flashpoint's favor, 1643. Going to maintain that 1,500 gold lead. The 1 for 2 not ideal for Flashpoint, but not the end of the world.
Checo died before any of that took off, so
Oosh, yeah, that's true.
I think that it still falls into that 2 for 2 factor. And with that being said, though, Checo respawn right around the same time as Zachsy getting back into the lane. So Zachsy really only getting the benefit of having maybe another wave being split by 3. Not that much.
Still enough for about half a gold lead, or half a level lead above Checo. Is what it is.
Sometimes that's just unavoidable too. I think that Checo was kind of mentally checked out there for a second, just auto-attacking the wave. He wasn't pushed up past the halfway mark, so you don't really expect the Thor to be coming from behind you in your own jungle.
Just a little bit of an oopsie. Yeah, we've all been there. I feel you, Mr. Checo. I certainly feel you. Checo's team, however, going to be on the outside looking in. As Elevate start at the Gold Fury one more time. Here comes the Zeus ult, and that's the way it's supposed to be done. Elevate grab the Gold Fury.
Flashpoint nearly got there in time, but they weren't able to respond fast enough. I don't think they even knew that that was happening up until Zachsy proc the ward walkover.
Meanwhile, here comes the ultimate from Athena. The Defender of Olympus is down. The pull from Koiz, not going to find it, but Jumpahhh certainly will. DoctorL shows up. Koiz trying to exit. DoctorL on the wrong side of the tree, but looking for Jumpahhh. Will find it. So the answer returned, also found. Panda mid takes care of DoctorL. Koiz ready to be fallen, but won't. Till the ultimate from the ROM. Still avoiding it. Oh my goodness. Commando Snimes finds Koiz finally after the fact.
Panda mid gonna be forced out of his own Aegis thanks to Nexamiss chase down, and even with the backup support from Checo, still wasn't enough to sway Nexamiss from chasing him a little bit further down the lane. Another 2 for 2 trade out though, in favor of Elevate probably this time, just because of the fact that Nexamiss transitioned over. Actually, I take that back. It goes against Elevate because Delny's left to his own devices and takes out the solo lane tower.
Yep, and there you go. Able to take care of business. Delnyy looking for Nexamiss, however. Gonna miss his little guide toss. Still here, 3 levels above his nearest peer.
It's not saying much, though, when he has to worry about DoctorL collapsing right on top of him. Watery Grave will buy him just a moment of time, but the Darkest Night going to force Nexamiss to take a moment to pause, and that's the moment that Delnyy needed in order to escape back to his team.
Easy in some world. That one was a little bit more of a difficult look for Delnyy, but still a good one nonetheless. Jumpahhh in the middle lane, trying to make sure he's not spotted out.
He's doing all right for the most part, I would say. Relatively even in farm in comparison to DoctorL. And both these junglers sitting at level 12. They do have their secondary relics online now. And I think Jumpahhh, having just recently finished that Transcendence finally, will have the 30% cooldown reduction, so that's going to be a huge benefit as well.
And this is the build that I personally prefer. Give us the Jotuns early so that you can do more of what you're doing, and then the Transcendence after the fact so that it affects what you're doing more. Here's the ultimate.
I think they know. I think they definitely saw that one coming. Probably because of that Sentry Ward that's right there on top of the left mid Harpies, so DoctorL won't be able to make anything happen just yet against Flashpoint. As Jumpahhh and Panda mid chose to sit back in their tower. Thor stun has connected though. That's a large chunk of damage.
Yeah, and everybody's gonna watch as Discordia's ultimate walks past them. Yeesh. Jumpahhh comes middle lane, trying to deal with it. There's a Zeus ultimate, however. Jumpahhh, not a big deal there. Looking for somebody targeted. And Commando Snipes is gonna fall into the hand of Michael Checo.
Beautiful play there by Delnyy. Just comes right behind the back of T1 tower, manages to take him out. Zachsy, however, looking to take out Jumpahhh all by himself. Jumpahhh going to be forced to go to his teammate, but he still has to worry about the Astral Barrage.
And meanwhile, doesn't have vision, so worry about it, sure, but no consequence. Panda mid taken down there by DoctorL. Nice job there for the Elevate team. One more time, trying to claw their way back into this, but Flashpoint still leading by about 2,000 gold and 2 kills.
And they might have lost their mid laner, but Checo and crew still helped take out that mid T1, meaning that the Pyromancer is probably going to be the next objective to try and secure for Flashpoint, at least until that Gold Furies respond.
And that's what they're looking for. 50 seconds till that Gold Fury respawns. And we'll see how everything winds up working out there. Teams around this mark, this is usually when you look for the last Gold Fury. And then after that, we'll be focusing on the right side of the map. And you can see Flashpoint already getting a little active here on the left side, trying to find it.
It's kind of what needs to happen, though. Flashpoint feel like they are the ones who are going to consistently be aggressing. Elevate's composition speaks more of a return fire comp as opposed to an initiation sort of draft.
Delny's still down here. No big deal. Gold Fury, keep your eye on that timer. 5 seconds. 5 seconds till Gold Fury respawns. And that's what teams are thinking of. Fight in the mid lane means Gold Fury afterwards. Fight on the right side means Gold Fury afterwards. Gold Fury is the do.
It's exactly where everybody from Elevate is headed. Despite Oracle Vision being in favor of Flashpoint, Checo's going to pop that Darkest Night just to force Elevate back off of it. But DoctorL won't connect onto Checo with that Thor ult.
Gold Fury 75, but leashed. Now looking for Jumpahhh, who's going to be able to run away. Flashpoint seem like they might have the upper hand. Meanwhile, Jumpahhh goes aggressive. The rest of the team looking. DoctorL uses beads and the ultimate from the support player. Jumpahhh a little bit too deep, does wind up falling. Taunted out of the pushes. Delnyy right into the Zeus juice. There's the rain. Detonate's good, but not good enough. Flashpoint still decently alive without their jungler.
Commando Snipes has done half of his health, though, just off the Thorns alone because of Delnyy tanking them up with those Kuzenbo shred. And everyone from Flashpoint still wants to try and contest this despite having lost their jungler. If they can buy enough time for Jumpahhh to respawn and make it back into this Gold Fury pit, they're going to win the fight.
That's the key, but right now, even with a great ultimate from Koiz, everything looking like Flashpoint's game. Backside, Nexamiss here, looking for Delnyy. He needs to step in front, can't do it. But Zachsy likely to fall unless he finds the world's perfect Aegis. And he does.
Three-man grouping now as DoctorL comes slamming down on top of him with that Thor dunk. Michael Checo doesn't have any mana. He should end up falling here alongside of Koiz.
Meanwhile, Elevate gonna pick one up. That's 2 for Zeus. And Elevate tie the game before the Gold Fury.
Elevate just trying to buy as much time as possible to try and secure this. Jumpahhh has made it back into the fight, though, so that's going to force Elevate to back off. Panda mid is so low because of Nexamiss that I'm not sure much more can be done here by Jumpahhh. And in fact, Commando ending up taking his life alongside of this Gold Fury.
Sometimes you can't fight into it. Flashpoint, one by one, just go into it. Needed to group up there. Needed to group up. The individualism of Flashpoint not going to be what wins them the game. 22, 2,300 gold in the lead is Elevate.
starting to think we might get a chance to see some bonus console smite here between these two teams. Elevate and Flashpoint have really been going toe-to-toe with each other, and it's felt super back and forth. But just like in Game 1, where there was that single moment of the team fight that completely threw the game into Flashpoint's favor, I feel like we might have just witnessed Elevate's moment here in Game 2.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, very evenly matched. Definitely want to get some extra stuff going on here with the way the Game 2 has gone. The way the Game number 1 went, you know what? I'll be honest. Definitely don't want more Game number 1. Game number 2, back and forth. Elevate just didn't seem like they were mentally in it. I was watching Thor ults miss. I was watching Zeus ults. No, I wasn't, because they weren't doing anything with them. But they must have heard themselves. Because that's a game, like I said, that you look at what happened, and you go, dude, we're better than that. We're going to run it back, pick the Zeus, pick the Thor, and show them what we can do. And this is what they can do. Elevate making use of the Zeus ult, being shorts on the objective. Thor being very effective. 5, 4, and 7 for DoctorL. I hated it Game number 1.
It feels panicky from Flashpoint almost, in a sense, because it doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot of thought process going into their team fights.
Sure.
They're kind of just looking for the lowest health target, and they're like, go. This is it. This is our pick. This is our time to shine. And when that doesn't work out, they're just like, well, we're still going to fight. We just don't know who we are fighting.
Pyromancer started, but dropped. Flashpoint now isolating 2 members. I'd like to see them go aggressive, but not going to. Zachsy here. There's Thor?
Hello. It was a setup. It was hoping that someone would aggress onto Zachsy.
No, that's
so
the
he
setup.
Could stun them.
The pull into everybody. Hamster Man in trouble. He's going to be able to hamster dance his way on out of there. Jumpahhh in trouble, though, as well. Looking for DoctorL. Pull's good, but the spin to win. What are you doing?
He thought he didn't have the beads because he didn't beads the pull in. DoctorL wanted Jumpahhh to think that, so that way he can make that play happen just then and there. Koiz going to be focused out by that Astral Barrage, but he's still alive, even if for a moment.
There it is. Nexamiss gets the clean execute. Meanwhile, Michael Checo picking up 2 before Elevate's able to continue the team fight. Panda mid and Koiz on the run. They'll be safe and sound. Very important that Michael Checo gets those 2 kills before he goes down, Taco. Elevate probably still going to be able to get something, but DoctorL and Zachsy, with them dead, that's the reason Elevate's not going for the gold, or the fire giant, rather, at this moment.
Checo single-handedly saved that fight.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
If Checo doesn't find those cleanup kills onto DoctorL or Zachsy,
fire giant, easy peasy.
Rip Flashpoint in a single instant.
Yeah, that's game. Now, there's a lot of Smite to be played, but that's game because Fire Giant goes to Elevate. They clean out the remaining towers for Flashpoint. They get at least 1 Phoenix, right? And then we all know how Smite's played. But without that Fire Giant, that's going to stop Elevate from sieging like that. And the fact that Zachsy and Commando Snipes or DoctorL were down, also going to stop Elevate from sieging. Flashpoint's Hunter just, wow, really, really coming up important right there.
DoctorL doesn't have his actives, though. Both of his actives have been burned out. His beads most recently by Jumpahhh. And I think that right now is the time for Flashpoint to fight. Right now is the moment for that Jumpahhh needs to take up that one-on-one initiation against DoctorL while he's still keeping track of those relics. If he is keeping track of the relics, this is where it really starts to come into play here. Remembering all those cooldown timers. Jumpahhh not wanting to lose his Mad Guy super early on. Is going to end up dropping it because of that Athena taunt. No, you managed to get out of range in time.
Just barely. DoctorL goes up and comes down again. Not thrilled with these Thor ults.
He's waiting for more to happen. And you're able to take in everything around you. Speaking of which, Delnyy taking in every single one of these abilities.
Here's going to be the taunt, which is good. But Commando Snipes in trouble now that the Aegis is over. The pull will be successful. DoctorL takes down Delnyy. Jumpahhh answers back, taking care of Commando Snipes. 1 for 1 so far. But IAmTheHamster comes up again. Elevate are running this team fight. Flashpoint on the retreat.
It's just so spread out. Delny's going way too deep by himself that it's not giving his team any time to think. They just have to try and respond. And Delnyy into the 1v4 has not worked out. He needs to play more around his team.
Yeah, That's, I don't mind the Kuzenbo, but you got to play with the squad. And that's certainly an issue here. DoctorL chased up by Panda mid. Fire Giant half HP, Gold's Fury 25% as well. Michael Checo just not interested. He's going to pick up the Gold's Fury for Flashpoint versus the Fire Giant for Elevate.
They knew it was gone.
Yep. That's a good call. I like the call from Checo there to just go for the Gold Fury.
Checo seems like the only one with the decision-making that's made sense right now this game. Everything else from Flashpoint has just been so sporadic and not clean. We're used to seeing clean game performances out of these guys. Delnyy and Jumpahhh especially have not felt to be on the same page, and there's a certain standard that I feel I'm forced to hold them to because they are the former world champions.
Yeah, I agree. I'll agree with that. Jumpahhh has just not impressed in this game. He's repeatedly dying to DoctorL, not really making it happen. And he kind of needs to be the guy that's making it happen.
Less one-on-one, more 5-on-5. I think that's all that really needs to happen here for Flashpoint. Once they start fighting as a team, then we'll probably get back to the back-and-forth action we were just looking at. But as it currently stands, Elevate have had a pure advantage simply based around their target focus.
And that's been, I mean, the way that strong teams have won for a long time. Flashpoint here, getting aggressive. 2 players knocked up by the Wrath of Terra. Koiz doing a good job there. Hamster exiting down south. Panda gonna miss the ultimate. Jumpahhh now in an ultimate of her own. Delnyy gonna take down Commando Snipes. Here comes Nexamiss as well. Dancing forward is Hamster. Panda mid grab, but beads and Aegis are good. Delnyy with the double 2 kills for the Kuzenbo.
All 5 of members were fighting together, but now that's going to make an opening for DoctorL to just land right on top of them with a quick double kill as soon as he hands. And that is probably the worst thing that could have just happened to Flashpoint.
Yeah. I mean, Flashpoint right there had a moment, but just kind of throw it away. So Elevate on the left side will push up for the tower.
I take it back, though. It felt like it was an awful feeling, but at the same time, you have to consider they did fight into a Fire Giant team and managed to find 2 picks, which means that Elevate won't get nearly as much off this Fire Giant as they probably would have been expecting to.
I suppose. Zachsy also is the one that's going to fall, so not good at coaching. 14-22. Elevate leading in kills, also in gold, leading up by about 6,000 gold. Flashpoint did win game number 1, trying to respond here with a second win, but should be interesting to see if they find it how they do so.
And Flashpoint aren't completely out of this just yet. That's the big thing for me. They've got a few members who are trailing in terms of experience and gold, so the itemization isn't matching up to that of Elevate's. But if Flashpoint can continue to delay this game more towards the late game side of things, because we are only approaching the 30-minute mark.
Yep. If we get another 10 minutes in Flashpoint's gold deficit, doesn't really matter. Elevate pushing up in the middle lane. Got to be careful of the flank coming up from Jumpahhh on the left-hand side. There's Matt Koiz with a nice ultimate, knocking up just 1. But big damage from Commando. Nexamiss as well from the backside. Already taking care of 2 members of Flashpoint.
Panda mid and Matt Koiz just didn't stand a chance underneath this T2. And Nexamiss has to use that Fatal Strike eventually. It's going to be onto nobody. Except the T2 does end up falling pretty quickly here, and all 5 members still strong, looking to make Delnyy their next feast.
Yeah, just stuck in the middle with you. Ha ha ha. Commando gets the kill. Jumpahhh all the way at the back line. We'll use the ultimate. Pick up a Zachsy, but that's about it. The rest of it, all Dignitas damage.
Better than nothing. Zachsy is going to be the main guy looking to deal some of that Phoenix damage, so as long as Flashpoint can buy themselves some time, Matt Koiz and Panda mid are due to respond pretty shortly.
DoctorL lands on his own teammates, but doesn't seem to need it. Steps on the back end, just might. Checo bring him down to about 25% HP, and Jumpahhh not going to find it. Hamster also taking some damage as well. Flashpoint walled off. And the escape from Elevate.
Kind of just fizzles out as soon as Zachsy gets picked off. And Jumpahhh, I can go for it. I'm about it. Even if he ends up dying there, I still think that Flashpoint have a decent chance of holding off underneath their Phoenix because they need that damage from Zachsy. They can't afford to have Commando Snipes tanking your Phoenix.
I agree. Gotta have a little bit more presence.
And they get the Fire Giant now.
The Athena showing up. Flashpoint going to pick up the objective, and what a big turnaround this could be. 7,000 gold in the deficit, but as we mentioned earlier, folks, this is one of those leads that might just wind up being a non-lead. Elevate far ahead. But once you've got the 6 items, then your lead doesn't matter. It's
about Flashpoint not letting the lead, or the Fire Giant, I should say, give them too much relaxation, because it's a sigh of relief when you hold on to your Phoenix. You successfully stop the siege from happening despite losing 2 members almost instantaneously. And now that Flashpoint do have the Fire Giant, they should just look to shove immediately down the mid-hand lane. Don't want to really worry about those side factors. And speaking of which, Elevate looking to return fire onto what Flashpoint actually did against them with the 5-man collapse. They're not going to be able to find it.
Nah, it's going to be Flashpoint pushing on the right-hand side. Getting the tier 2 for free. Pretty much no investment. Entirety of Elevate will be back to base.
And I like that Checo actually ends up picking up the blue buff. Not only does it give him the 10% cooldown reduction, but the mana sustain is important here for the Xbalanque, because he didn't opt for a Transcendence or any sort of mana regenning item, just like DoctorL has to immediately hammer away from Jumpahhh. But it's... The branching bolas cost a lot of mana, actually, once you have them ranked 5.
Yes.
And so the blue buff, a little bit more impactful than you might think in terms of keeping the Xbalanque sticking around in the fight.
Transcendence usually picked up by Xbalanque players in the past because of the ability to sort of offset the branching bola mana cost. Nowadays, with Devo Gloves being so popular, not the case here. DoctorL loses half his HP, pings out the fact that Jumpahhh is on the flank.
He's just been trying to pull that Mad Guy's cloak from Jumpahhh, but failing. And speaking of which, Flashpoint now could be there trying to fight Delnyy. He's sitting underneath that Zeus ultimate, trying to deal as much damage back as possible.
Bends it out to DoctorL, it being the apple, of course. Flashpoint with a great push as Jumpahhh takes down Commando Snipes. Zachsy on the other side, going to get some help by help of these Athena. And Zachsy takes care of Michael Checo. 2 for 1 so far. And Elevate with a great defensive set. Looking for the stop. Jumpahhh going to stop the stop, however. Panda mid stunned up top. Flashpoint. Fight into the tier 2. Unable to grab it. And they trade out 2 for 2 as far as bodies is concerned.
Nexamiss and DoctorL are putting in work to make sure that Elevate don't end up getting this game turned against them. Flashpoint need to just spread out a little bit more. This is like the 5th or 6th time now that we have seen a 2 or 3 man plus Thor stun happen.
Yep.
They're just grouping on top of each other, trying to confirm the kills, and it's leading to their carries getting picked off.
It's interesting because game number 1, DoctorL couldn't hit the broadside of a Bond with his ultimate. And Flashpoint, we always talk about teams reacting or adjusting in the positive, right? Where this guy was looking for long-range initiations, so everybody got up on top of him, right? We see that all the time in competitive Smite. This is DoctorL completely missing game number 1 as far as the Thor ult is concerned. So Flashpoint weren't threatened by it, and now they're grouping up. It's 35 minutes into the game, folks, talking to Flashpoint. DoctorL shook game number 1. He's hitting these Thor ults. Y'all got to spread out again. Like, you got to take it.
I don't think that he was missing the Thor ult so much as it was... The only Thor ults I really saw him missing were the ones where he was clearly out of range, and I don't understand why he was going up in the air then. But it's mostly just been about him using his ult, and I think Flashpoint just being on the lookout for it. Whenever you're against a Thor, especially at a competitive level of play, you tend to automatically check the sky anytime you're around a corridor, such as the one that Delnyy just ventured into. But since it's his own jungle, he'll be able to just toss out that Kuzenbo ultimate real quick and stop any further damage from happening. Still choosing to back to base, however, and I can't tell if Flashpoint are actually going to choose to fight at the Fire Giant or not.
I'm not sure either. I think I would like to see them fight at the Fire Giant because they don't have any Phoenixes down.
I think I'm on the opposite end of that, to where I'd rather see them try and hold against it, because Matt Koiz just a little bit too immobile here, buddy. Panda mid gonna end up eating a huge chunk of his own damage because of that lightning charge. And now it's all up to Jumpahhh to take out Commando Snipes, and he does it.
Meanwhile, on the back end, DoctorL gonna land on top of Michael Checo. Needs help. Ultimate from Matt Koiz, not good enough. Michael Checo finds the dash on the outside. Trouble for Elevate DoctorL as he finds the escape backwards. Meanwhile, Jumpahhh, number 9 for the jungler, needs to continue what he's doing.
He has been weaving all over the place, but they got to watch out for DoctorL on the back end. Will
Big
connect
wall.
with the stun. Takes out Jumpahhh for the count. Matt Koiz still trapped inside everybody, too.
Meanwhile, Nexamiss can't find the last hit on the Matt Koiz. Root's good, and Panda mid here to play D. Walking around in the cooldown cloud. Hamster finally takes care of Koiz. Nexamiss, though, could fall down. Flashpoint gets taunted in. Hamster man doing the damage. Delnyy on the chase for Nexamiss, as is Panda mid. There's the Athena ultimate, 20% damage reduction. The Thorn's gonna be good. Nexamiss on the right, pushed into the wall. Panda mid, finishing them off with the apple. See you later, shut down.
But they wasted so much time for Flashpoint that even with the clean 4-man wipe, all they can look towards is the Fire Giants, as they ended up losing 2 members in the process too.
All right, Michael Checo gonna be tanking up this Fire Giant, nice and easy peasy. Fire Giant
is down.
Flashpoints.
Michael Checo, no assistance necessary with that triple crit build on the Xbalanque. These autos are swinging. Pyromancer is an easy to solo objective.
Conversation that I see a lot. Penetration with the triple crit. Now he's got the Executioner, right? Is that enough penetration for the triple kit?
He could probably sell the Poison Star for a Titan's Bane and be A-okay.
Doesn't Titan's Bane counteract the Executioner?
I think no, not with the change passives. But I think that the big thing here is Nexamiss and IAmTheHamster are only eating these crits for like 227 apiece. I just saw like 4 crits that happened against IAmTheHamster, and they were all 227.
Yeah.
So I think a Titan's Bane could help just shove it a little bit more towards relevant damage range that would actually make IAmTheHamster not want to stand right in front of those.
One of the hotly contested topics whenever anybody's streaming Hunter play is always how much penetration, right? So, interesting thing to note though. So these days the Titan's Bane doesn't counteract the Executioner?
Not unless that was reverted. That hasn't been around for a long time. Since like the start of Season 5, the passives were changed for the Titan's Bane, and it wouldn't interfere with that of the Executioner. They don't counteract each other like they used to.
Left side, Flashpoint looking for the push. Here comes DoctorL with a nice stun, but the taunt is strong. Doggers of Knights is used. Not as effective as you might have thought. Nice taunt onto Delnyy. Pushing forward, Watery Grave is good. Tower focusing him. He'll back off. Meanwhile, DoctorL hit by the nonsense from Discordia. Aegis is out. Now with that on cooldown, Flashpoint take down the tower, looking towards the left side Phoenix.
Everything that IAmTheHamster is doing is all about trying to keep people zoned away, but he won't be able to connect on that taunt into oblivion. It's Jumpahhh now looking to handle Commando Snipes on the back end, but it's all about Nexamiss destroying Flashpoint's front.
Matt Koiz gonna fall down to the hand of the solo lane Achilles. That left side Phoenix still alive and well. Jumpahhh using his ult as an escape. Hamster man out of range for the taunt, but the damage from DoctorL also barely out of it. Stun is good, but the bubble is better. Hamster's still on the chase. There's the hammer. Jumpahhh just a matter of time till he falls. Does find the jump on out to a teammate. Up in the sky goes DoctorL. Lands in front of him. Finds a good wall. Taunt is strong as well. Zachsy finally takes care of Jumpahhh.
They're never going to let him get away. They just chased him until the end of time, and they finally found that dodgy. Panda mid and Michael Checo still alive underneath the Phoenix, but that's going to be IAmTheHamster taken out for the count. Probably shouldn't be the one dashing in into the Xbalanque.
Big play from Michael Checo. Big play from the Xbalanque. Really, really big play. 22 kills after that one. Comparatively speaking to Elevate, 32 kills. Gold, a wash. 40-20 on the clock. It's all even.
Everything about Commando Snipes right now is just for the escape. Zachsy doesn't have enough mana though, and Delnyy has recognized that, so that's going to prompt him to give chase.
That's going to be the pull. Not much after the fact. Delnyy, on the other hand, going to ult Zachsy here. Doing a ton of damage with the stolen Kuzenbo. Tosses out the Delnyy.
He's got him.
Yeah, it's going to be one dead Hunter. Oh, and that's the control comes through. Nice job. Zachsy survives.
I think that's like the 4th odd time we've seen Zachsy stay alive with 5 HP, but the same might not be able to be said for Delnyy. He's going to barely squeak on out of there too.
A lot of pond luck on the side of Zachsy. Able to sneak on out. Wiggle his way out. Easy peasy. Flashpoint, if you go for this gold sphere, I'm going to rage.
I don't think they're going... I mean, they're doing it simply because it's there. It's not like they would have normally opted for this. I think it's just one of those objectives where we want our power pots online. This will help us get them. Also, a little bit more gold to buy some more sentries, because at this point, everybody should be buying sentries on every single one of their backs if they have the gold available to them. There's the 3K power pots.
Koiz just sold something for an Oni's Hunter's Garb. I wish I remembered what he sold for it. But he picked up this Oni Hunter's Garb, which I think is absolutely the right call. He's being surrounded by the opposition, changes his original build to reflect the game that he's playing. That's the type of stuff I like to see.
The fact that I can't really recall it either just tells me it might
was just
not have
a very
been...
standard item, right? It was just whatever he was building in the standard build that didn't make me bring anything up, right?
Matt Koiz has just been a casualty of war more often than not. Like, you kind of just assume that Flashpoint are going to be... or not Flashpoint, but Matt Koiz is going to be behind.
Yeah, Koiz wound up selling that heart word for a little bit of late game stuff in the Oni Hunters and the Mantle. Trading out the early for the late, like that choice. Flashpoint, on the other hand, trying to make a choice of where to fight, but it's DoctorL that's making the choice for them. Elevate, dropping the rain as well. Jumpahhh gets detonated, but Delnyy dealing with the detonator. Matt Koiz picks up DoctorL. It's a 2 for 2 so far.
Is this going to be it? Nearly eating that bounce back, but Panda mid still ends up finding Nexamiss on the other side as Michael Checo aims to take out Athena all by himself.
Well, he aims for it, but...
Please just shove with your team to the Phoenix.
There it is. Michael Checo making the hard detour to the Phoenix. Matt Koiz leading the charge. We'll take some of the poke here.
This could be a possible game ender.
I don't know about that one, Taco.
I think they can end.
30-plus seconds on mid, jungle, and solo is what's making you think that. And I'm not far away from you there. IAmTheHamster and Zachsy have been pretty successful today. Double taunt coming out. Zachsy making it hurt. The Titan is under attack. Matt Koiz, Panda mid, Michael Checo. Meditation heals them up. Half HP on the Titan. Matt Koiz gonna die. 2 versus 2 underneath the Titan. There's the ultimate from the mid lane mage. One goes down. Rolling forward is Zachsy. Able to take care of the Hunter. That's the damage dealer. Zachsy able to play defense. Everything up to Panda mid. But with DoctorL and Captain Snipes showing back up, Elevate are going to successfully play defense and stand their ground. Great play from Hunter Zachsy.
It's exactly what Elevate needed in order to stay alive in this game. And Flashpoint probably kicking themselves right now for not being able to close that one out a little bit sooner. I think that if Checo had spent 5 less seconds attacking IAmTheHamster, that would have been a much sooner siege of the mid Phoenix. To which I still firmly believe Flashpoint could have possibly ended off of.
Is there a punish, though, is the question. Because Flashpoint making that play, will Elevate be able to punish them? Fire Giant is the objective of note. DoctorL getting poked out by the big man. Panda mid and Jumpahhh just pushing the button.
I think they can safely ignore most of these guys because that's all that Jumpahhh wants to do. He's looking straight at Zachsy. He saved the game one time, but won't be alive to save it a second.
Meanwhile, right up into the sky, Delnyy in trouble. He's in that execute threshold. Nexamiss takes advantage of it. Delnyy down, but DoctorL and Zachsy are down as well. 45 minutes and we're getting the full reset.
Jumpahhh has to back here. He's just a little bit too low to really want to stick around for much longer, and I think with that back, it's safe to say that Elevate have some room to breathe, but they have to expect that this Fire Giant's going to go in favor of Flashpoint.
Yep, Flashpoint will pick up the Fire Daddy. And with that behind their wings, they'll head up into the middle lane. And Taco, I'll tell you this right here. Even if this doesn't go Flashpoint's way, judging off of the last play, this is an all-in. Flashpoint are either going to get the victory or they're going to get wiped, and we're going to watch Elevate bring us to a game 3. But Flashpoint have showed us that they're not waiting around. They're looking for the action.
There's no ZooSoul, but there is a DoctorL who's respawning pretty soon here. He's going to probably just opt to ult as soon as he lands, but this is it. Flashpoint are going for it. Can they succeed?
It looks like it. No! Commando Snipes drops one. But just like game number 1, the Red Squad will lose some members, but ultimately take the victory. Flashpoint win game number 2. And if well, I don't know if it was fantastic.
It
this
did
was
not
close.
come easy at all. That was a very difficult set, I think, for Flashpoint to close out, and partially due to, I think, just being a little too disoriented at the start. All throughout that early game, once they broke out of the laning phases, you would think that it was Delnyy giving Flashpoint the advantage because he had some pretty strong rotations, but in fact, everybody overlooking all the grouping that was happening, making life a little bit too easy there for DoctorL.
Great job from Jumpahhh as well, making sure to actually get those kills. A lot of people were escaping with 10% here and 10% there, and Jumpahhh coming through and making sure to confirm those kills. Really important. And of course, the Hunter player, Michael Checo. If you guys have watched the console league in the past, you know how much of a fan I am of Michael Checo, because I think this guy kind of fought through adversity. He was kind of a meme in the console scene and still played his face off despite that. Decision making is out of control, and the guy missed a couple of basics on the Athena that I jocked, but at the end of the day, this was a great Hunter performance, and I'm glad to see him back on the charge, back on the prowl, doing his things, because I think his decision making at a couple of spots are what won the game.
Great job there to Michael Checo, helping to make sure that Flashpoint are able to close this set out. Speaking of which, I mean, they're not the only ones who found some wins today.
Very true. Moving up in the standings will be Michael Checo and his squad. Flashpoint up on top, 2 wins in total. And they haven't dropped a game in both of those sets. Elevate have split down the middle, just like Fable and Astral Authority. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. The North American ex-superstars are on the bottom, and Europe has been exciting to watch as well. So NA will wind up moving on up with Flashpoint up on top, but if they stay on top, they'll come to HRX. You guys can be middle, bottom, doesn't matter. Y'all just have to buy tickets. November 16th through the 18th, come hang out in Atlanta with us.
Meet some of your favorite players, meet some of the other fans, and more importantly, just have a great time watching some good old gaming.
Yeah, it's going to be really dope. Not only do you get all the console stuff there, you get the PC stuff as well, but more importantly, all the other games, right? You're going to see Brawlhalla, Smash Bros, a ton of other people hanging out here at HRX since it's at DreamHack. So we're really excited. Right now, it's about 2 o'clock our time. We're going to take a 55-minute break and come right back on the same channel with the Smite Pro League. Stay tuned. We'll see you then.